Blended Podcasts. Brought to you by Blended Audio.
Hello and welcome to Centre Stage, the South African theatre podcast. I'm Peter Bates and my co-host, Alistair Kingan.
Hello.
Hi. So, Alistair, episode 4, let's go. Today.
Episode 3, I think you mean.
Episode 3, yeah, of course. Right, so we're talking today about a CGI, computer graphics, and actors, and the resurrection of of actors via computer graphics.
And
right?
not only that, just like the future of CGI, like will it ever take over actors? Because I remember
BuzzFeed. Will CGI take over? Dum dum dum.
Basically BuzzFeed.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about this episode. We're not going to center it on South Africa. Sorry for those listeners who want that from us. But we're going to go into the grand.
Yeah, we're looking at the grand scheme of things, right? Okay, so we're talking computer graphics. So now recently there's been this upsurge in famous people, Hollywood actors, being portrayed in completely computer-generated versions. Okay, so I don't know, Alistair, if you've been following, but apparently, do you know what hashtag MoustacheGate is? Okay.
No.
So, what's his name? Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, yeah.
Okay, so Henry Cavill was in Superman, and he was also in Mission Impossible 6. Now, in Mission Impossible 6, he needed to have a big moustache / beard, and in Superman is clean-shaven, so they had a problem, okay? So now, Paramount and whoever else, the other big studio, they had a huge fight over it, and eventually it was decided that either one of them would have to pay the other $3 million to compensate them for the loss of recording time or filming time, or they would CGI his moustache off. I looked at some of those pictures, like literally, because I mean, you could CGI a moustache on, because then it looks like a piece of carpet strapped to you up.
How do you CGI a moustache? Oh, I thought you said beard as well.
No, like a bit of a stubble, and then like this bushy moustache.
Wouldn't that look even more?
Yes, it looked completely. That's why it's MoustacheGate. Hashtag MoustacheGate, because it was completely ridiculous. Okay, so we've got this idea, like, okay, a practical effect. Literally, give the guy a razor and shave his moustache. Like, it's not that hard, right? Okay, versus CGI. So CGI is replacing practical effects. Okay, remember the Terminator movie, Terminator 2, where that guy like his head became like a liquid silver, that kind of thing. I mean, that's like one of the most famous CGI sequences because it was like hashtag so good. That's not a hashtag, but anyway.
But now.
Okay. And now we've got this other thing, which MoustacheGate. It literally looks like they took a picture of an upper lip without a moustache and glued it over his moustache, which like technically that's what they did. Okay, so CGI, sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it doesn't go well at all.
I think the biggest the biggest example of this would have to be that Star Wars movie that just came out recently, Rogue One?
Rogue One, yeah.
Rogue One.
Oh, Peter Cushing.
Yeah, Peter Cushing is dead.
He's dead. Yeah,
but he's like...
And Leia in the previous one.
Forget about Leia for now.
Carrie Fisher as well.
Yeah, but like she only came on as a younger version of herself right at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
like,
but she was
cameo.
dead. She was dead.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying, Peter.
Okay.
This Peter Cushing had like a role in the movie. He had lines.
Yeah, like he had a speaking role, and he looked like a plasticine doll doing it, right?
Yes.
So now where's the ethical boundary?
Exactly.
Because apparently, I was actually reading, and they said that Peter Cushing's estate, i.e. his sons, said that they were okay with that, with them using his likeness.
If they're okay with it, then I suppose like legally.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like
morally,
what's legally and what's
ethically.
Moral and ethically, right? Because I mean, I personally, I don't want to be saying things that even
that you
after
didn't
I'm
actually,
dead.
yeah.
I mean, like when I'm dead, I wouldn't care. But I mean, I don't want to say things I've never said, right? And it looked realistic. Like it looked like a person. But you know what uncanny valley is, right?
Explain for our listeners.
So for our listeners, so prepare to be educated. Uncanny valley is we kind of like take a graph and we say like how accepted by another person a thing is. Okay, and then how realistic it is. So things that are not very realistic, like for example, cartoon characters are seen as cute, so they're well accepted. Okay, so cartoon characters, because they're not very human-like. Okay, then like stuff like Barbie dolls and stuff are accepted and seen as cute or desirable, even though they're not they're not like perfectly human-like. And then we get to this point where it's like something is very, very human-like, okay, but it's not perfect. So it's like just off. And it kind of like, as something becomes more like a human, it becomes more and more accepted. But then it kind of falls into what they call a valley. So literally the graph like dips right down, and they call that uncanny valley,
like,
because it's like, exactly. Because like, ooh, actually, you know what? That looks a bit creepy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then on the other end of that valley, we've got actual people, which are like, your brain just like sees them. So they reckon it's actually like an evolutionary advantage, so that like to like it's like built into the human psyche, that it's like averse to things that look human but aren't, because it's the same kind of thing that
could be dangerous. Yeah.
Exactly, because it's like a corpse basically.
Oh,
falls
yeah.
directly into uncanny valley, and it gets the same emotional response as some of these CGI characters. I mean, some people I spoke to watch that movie and they're like, oh no, it's great, it's wonderful, it looked great, and other people are like, no, what the heck is that, get it away from me, ew. Because it falls into uncanny valley for them.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how CGI is getting, technology progresses, it always gets better and stuff. So we're definitely getting closer to like having a realistic depiction of a person that isn't weird. But I don't know, to me it's just kind of weird. What is it weird to you?
I'm on two minds about this, because yes, it is a little bit weird. Like when I saw that movie, I didn't know Peter Cushing was dead, but I knew he was like freaking old if he was alive. So I knew they had to have done some sort of like CGI to make him look younger. I didn't know he was dead, so I could see something was not right, and then that sort of bothered me. Like it takes you out of the movie almost, because people say, but there's aliens in that movie too. But you're like, but you expect them to look...
there's no like analog for aliens. You're like, oh, that alien doesn't look alien enough to me. Well, why? Because you know what an alien looks like,
But like,
right?
you know how this like human is supposed to like move, like, it looked almost too fluid in my mind.
Just slightly off.
Yeah.
That's uncanny valley, exactly.
So, but do I like them? Do I mind them doing it? Not particularly. Like, I thought it was a nice nod to the actor in a way, but also I wouldn't go the extra mile and not start casting him in like movies now, and then, for the novelty of having the lead actor isn't actually alive yet, but like, you can look what we can do,
Yeah.
That's too far. But I thought it was a nice nod what they were doing. And just also like to show what can be done now.
What can be done, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's... I don't know if it's right. Like, for example, okay, so let's talk about Carrie Fisher.
Okay.
So Carrie Fisher passed away, and then it was like halfway through filming, and then they had to make a plan quickly, and so they did the whole CGI version of her. Now, why was that to you more okay than... Because you said like that was a different situation. Like that was just a cameo versus an actual speaking role. So what was the?
Yeah, because it was like it was a few seconds of film. And I didn't put any. Oh, I don't think I did. I'm sorry if I did. I didn't put any like moral judgment on that. I was just saying that it's different, because the Peter Cushing one was like, he had lines he's never said before. He was moving around. He was an actual like part of the film. Like,
well, she was just like she was like in one scene. It was just there like, as like a
cameo,
like fan service, basically.
Literally, she didn't need to be there, because she was only there to sort of show the fans, like, okay, this is where the movie plots into the universe.
Yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, okay, so like ethically, it's like the same thing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So I was reading again, and like her estate said that they were okay with the likeness. Okay, so now it's an interesting thing. Now we have to. There's this whole idea, what a deep fake is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Google's, that's freaking weird, right? So it's Google's AI that can, or is it Google's AI? I actually don't know, but it's an AI system that can basically, it takes photographs of a person's face, and then it can reconstruct their face moving in realistic ways, okay? So firstly, Black Mirror, here we come.
Yes.
Secondly, I'm never going out in public without a mask on my face anymore if this ever thing happens again, because now we've got facial recognition and all this kind of stuff, right? So now, what's to stop a person from basically just literally stealing someone else's face? Like, that is deeply strange to me.
It's deeply fake.
Because, that's deep fake, right? And now there's this other thing, it also works on voices, right? So you can make it appear in a video as if a person is actually saying something that they have never said before in their life, and they may not even think.
Yeah. And I know there was a few things, like politics, like a few fake clips of some politicians saying things that they didn't, like it can be used in that, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, okay, so then we're saying, okay, there's good and bad uses for it. Okay, right, fine. We've got that. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's like an ethical problem. Like if it gains widespread, and this is the thing, like something like a new technique. Like for example, the movie Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. Okay?
Yeah.
That was the first movie in America where a toilet appeared on screen. Ooh. Did you know that? And that at the time was like
scandal.
It was one of the most shocking things of that movie. Okay, now that movie, the very fact that there was a woman without a top in the shower, the whole murder shower scene, like that was like over the top, like pushing the limits. But another thing was the fact that there was a toilet on screen. It was seen as so filthy. It was one of the top things that had to be censored out of the movie, or that the censors were worried about cutting out of the movie, right? But now, I mean,
what movie doesn't have a bathroom scene?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like every movie has a toilet in it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like if there's a toilet in a movie, people are like, okay, why? Okay. So for two reasons. Well, firstly, like the moral values have shifted, and secondly, because it's happened more and more, so it's become more acceptable, right?
Are you worried that's going to happen?
Is the same thing going to happen? Because people are now like, oh, CGI, how can you resurrect a dead actor like that? But you know what? If I was brought up as a kid seeing that, I wouldn't question it.
Yeah, you think it's normal.
You think it's normal. So is that going to happen to CGI in movies? Like this kind of, it's happened to other forms of CGI in movies as well. Is that going to happen to this form of CGI in movies? I think it will.
I think it will. I was reading this article because, I mean, just talking about putting a face on someone else's thing, they already did it in freaking, where's this article now? In Iron Man 3.
Yes.
They were a lot of the shootings, a lot of the scenes that they were shooting, it clashed with some of Robert Downey Jr.'s
So they cut his face up and stuck it in someone else.
Yeah, so exactly. They had literally a lot of the scenes are not actually him as an actor, it's just his face. But you can't tell the difference. And that's creepy.
That is really creepy.
But also...
But at least you had to film him before. It's not like you were able to create him out of nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's weird, guys.
But I mean, that was how long ago, though?
I don't know how long ago it was.
It's quite a long time ago.
Okay, so if you go back to... what is that? Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah.
The Scorpion King? Did you ever watch it? Did you actually watch that movie?
Yes.
Because I actually watched that movie as well, and I was like, why am I wasting my time? Okay, well, I was like 14, so I was kind of like, it was like cool. It was a couple of years, that's actually way after it came out. So it was cool, but at the same time, I was kind of developing my consciousness behind like, why am I wasting my time on this? And that CGI in that movie was it was also like a cut and paste of a face, but let's be honest, it was a whole lot of cheese.
Fun fact, the actor, besides Dwayne, was South African. Called Arnold Vosloo.
Arnold Vosloo, really? Fantastic. Guys, we need to put a good image of South Africa out there. Please only act in good movies. I mean, what's good and what's not.
But that's besides the point.
What's good and what's not.
But yes, the CGI.
Stank.
Yeah, that was...
It was like #MoustacheGate, but in 1999, right? Okay, but what do you expect from 1999?
Exactly.
Terminator 2, which I just spoke about, which was like the best sci-fi action movie with the CGI in the world, came out about the same time. So, 6 with one, half dozen of the other. Yeah. So the other thing was, so now we've got CGI actors. Okay, so you're actually recreating someone else's face in CGI. But how different is that from using a lookalike or somebody who looks like a spitting image of someone else? Like, how different is that? And is it a different situation? What do you think?
Yes. Because the thing about a lookalike is everyone can see that it's a different person. Like they it looks similar, but they know it's not the same person. Whereas what they did with Iron Man 3...
Sorry. It's not the fact that they're using someone else. It's as in the person is presented as if they are someone else. Do you see what I mean?
No.
So you're taking... So CGI, you're presenting this image of Peter... That's not him.
Yeah.
Okay? This image of Peter Cushing, that's not him. But you're presenting it as if it is him. Okay, so how is it different to presenting a person as if they are someone else versus a CGI image as if it is an actual person?
So are you saying if they got a someone who looked very much like Peter Cushing.
Like his twin brother or something. I don't know, something like that.
And how would that be different?
Yeah, how would that be different? You know, is there a different? Is it just as okay to use a CGI image of someone as it is to use a lookalike for someone? I mean,
that's actually a good point.
Because it's kind of like it's like these celebrity impersonators, right? They look exactly like the person, and they're capitalizing on someone else's identity for their own. They're kind of appropriating that identity. Now, is that less or more okay? Or I don't know. Is it different? Is it the same thing?
I don't have an answer, Peter.
I know. This is an interesting point.
Because if you don't have the actor, like in a situation where you need like Princess Leia.
Yeah.
She died, but there's still another movie where
Carrie
that was
Fisher.
meant
Carrie Fisher,
sorry, where it was meant to be sort of her character's movie.
Yeah.
Then you got a situation where, okay, yeah, they could rewrite the movie because they haven't actually started it, or at that point.
Yeah, fine.
But if you're in a situation where it's like halfway through the filming and your lead character dies,
not available anymore, or dies.
Yeah, or not available or dies. I'm thinking like future. I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
look, I mean, it's going to be written into the actor's contract, right? It's like, if on the unfortunate event you were to die, I can use your face to do whatever, and then, you know, to complete the movie or whatever the fact is. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I personally have a problem with it because I don't think a person who's dead can consent to something, and I don't think you can consent to something after death, to a certain extent. So I don't know.
But also, if they're dead, they're dead. Like,
well, that's yeah. Well, that's
I'm of the opinion that they'd be like,
but we have a respect for people, right?
Yeah, but if you say in like your will, which is it's literally your last will and testament, it's like what you mind. If you say that you don't mind this, then
okay. I think we're getting a bit bogged down here. I think. Okay, we're getting a bit bogged down.
I want to talk about there's a movie coming out.
Yes.
Called what's the name? The Congress.
Okay.
And basically, it shows a future. I'm reading from this thing from the Telegraph. It's a new film. The Congress shows a future where technology has the power to bring great actors back from the dead and make living ones immortal. And somewhere I just read it briefly. Somewhere along the thing, it describes a scene where this actor she's doing a performance, and then she knows that it's the last time she'll do this performance because they're just going to take the recording of it and use it in the
that's rough.
things.
Okay.
So that got me thinking about literally replacing actors. Like, is there going to come a time where
it's like we only use CGI people because we don't need actors? Why would you want to like pay for a person and cater for them and give them a trailer? Why do we just use a CGI character?
Exactly.
We just put a bunch of drones in an office and make them work for hours and generate a CGI character.
Yeah.
Beautiful question. I love it.
What does that do to the acting profession?
Well, you see, this is the thing. So I think, and this is the problem. So the whole idea is like machines are taking over, right? But there's,
Skynet.
You see, Alistair, I cannot believe that there is not some essential human quality that cannot be copied by a machine. There must be something, okay? And whether that is creativity or whether that is whatever it is, I don't think humans will ever be obsolete, okay? So, but that's like the extreme example. That's like the year 2200 or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be the year 2070. We'll see. So, you know, will actors ever be replaced completely by CGI? Why not? I mean, we're already replacing extras in background films with CGI, extras in films in the background of films with CGI. So why could we do it for people that are kind of like not extras? And then we've already replacing like
dead people,
like in speaking parts, like small speaking parts, but speaking parts. So what's not to? I mean, we've already got characters who are entirely CGI generated. So once we start getting them looking perfectly realistic, why don't we just have people who perhaps are famous because of something? I don't know, maybe they're like an influencer or something. I don't know, whatever. Terrible idea. So maybe like we have a bunch of people who are famous and who just license their appearance. Do you know what I mean? So they get paid for permission to use their face.
That's interesting.
Or they're speaking or whatever. You know, like the internet is currently nuts about Keanu Reeves. So he's super famous. So what happens if he was to say, okay, I don't want to appear in any movies anymore. I just want to, I don't know, go salmon fishing in the Yemen or something. Here's a contract, sign it. You can use my face on whatever movie as long as it doesn't do this, that, and the next thing.
Yeah.
So why not?
I think there was actually another article I read where like some actors are actually getting CGI body scans of themselves.
Oh boy.
And for production companies to use if they need to in the event in any of.
Oh wow! So it's like, I need. I don't know, give me an actor. I don't know. I need Alistair Kiggett quickly. Let's go on to downloadedactor.net, and just like paste him into my CGI scene, right? Oh, that's ridiculous.
Okay, that's a very simple. But yes, basically.
But that's what it's coming down to.
Some famous like Tom Cruise, the Scientologist, the crazy one. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's kind of like he's done that.
Oh, my word.
But he's like asked to specifically have the data, like the thing.
Yeah, like the flash drive.
At his home.
Okay.
Like with him, and no one else has a copy of it.
Oh.
So like you get people are doing like
imagine that just
imagine, but like this idea of like he's already established as an actor.
Yeah.
Like that's great.
And he's already doing it.
But
right?
like in the future, there's going to be other actors.
Yeah, so it's like you come to an audition and they're like, "Can I have your headshot? Can I please have your body scan? Can I have your voice ID print, please?" Okay,
thanks.
you.
Bye.
Yeah, and then what? You find yourself on some kind of like, like you're browsing the internet one day and you see yourself on some kind of like third-rate back alley, like I don't know, Dodge, and you're like, "Hang on a second, get my whatever." I don't know.
But
like,
just think about it.
But
if they
it's so
do that,
exploitable.
I mean, it's not. To me, it's not unbelievable for if that technology was a thing, like in complete fruition, for auditions to literally be, come, let's upload you into the system. Okay, thanks, bye. We'll just take what we have and just punch in the scene, and punch in like the words and see what they did. Yeah,
but then but we're still basing it off people. Now, what happens when the technology gets so good that you don't even have to do a body scan or whatever? You can literally just create a person. So, and this is interesting because already we have stuff like what are they called? Oh gosh, their names. Gorillas, which are a virtual band.
Oh, yes, yeah.
They're completely fictional characters. I mean, obviously there's people behind it and on stage people actually perform the music, but the band is the band, right? They're completely fictional. They are not based on any normal people and they're famous in and of themselves, right? And there's several other music projects and bands that are virtual bands. So already it's happening in that field. How can it not happen in another field? It's transferable. I mean, surely it can happen. Like the next major Hollywood star could be completely different or completely weird. So it's weird because these people are seen as like an idealized, like this is a person, like this is this is like the embodiment of what it means to be a human. Like this is a well-regarded famous person. But what happens if that well-regarded famous person, that embodiment of humanity, is now computer generated?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's where I go. I don't think it will happen because I think
don't know.
The idea of celebrity. I mean, yes, there's the gorillas, but I think in the general idea of like celebrity, people want to know that this person is real beyond just the film that they're watching. So that they want to be able, they want to have that. Oh, I might see him like walking around his neighborhood or like at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think that sort of desire, that form of celebrity will keep
that is what celebrity is, right?
Yeah, will keep because I think it's sort of almost innate what people sort of want. A lot of people, they want people to look up to, and want to be looked up to in turn. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so that's an interesting point. So celebrity will probably. I think if anything stops it, it won't be anything like moral or like ethical or anything.
It'll just be like the way the game works.
Like, no.
The rules of the game are that won't work. Okay, that's an interesting point. I like that. What actually kind of links into it is that there was this huge outcry a couple of years ago about some of the female models in Paris Fashion Week. The female, like the clothing designed for women, was modeled by men. So it's like the epitome of female beauty is a man's body. Hello? How arbitrary can we get? How separated from reality can we get here? No. But it proves that it's possible. It's possible for something like that to happen. That the epitome of something is actually separated from that thing itself.
That's actually a good point.
You see what I mean? So it's like, this is a person we look up to, but in fact, they're actually not a person at all. They're a machine. They're completely generated by people. But this is the thing. This is how social media works, right? You can present yourself in a specific way that is you can cultivate how that is, right? So if you are, I don't know, you have a negative trait, like you are an impatient person, or I don't know, something like that, or actually you swear a lot or whatever, and you don't want to be perceived as that negative trait in your social media, you just post things that don't portray you in that light, and you post things that portray you in a different light. So you can cultivate the way you look. So what's to stop, you know, a CGI character, and I say character meaning, I don't want to say CGI human, because I think that dilutes the power of what a human is, and I think we cannot lose sight of that. But I think a CGI character that takes all the best bits from what is seen as good for a person to be, so they're handsome and good looking and they've got an amazing voice and this and then the next thing, puts them all together and makes like the superhuman, like this is the ultimate human, who's not even a human.
But
I think we're getting bogged down again.
But like, I just want to say once again, I think people who see these people on these personalities on social media, they in a sense, they know it's sort of fake because they know that there's a person behind that. They know,
but you see, there's a difference, I think, between knowing intellectually that it's fake and then like the part of you, like the automatic subconscious part of you, which actually believes it's real. And I think there's a difference between knowing and like deep knowing. And I don't think that those two things in the human mind bridge, and I think that's exploitable and has been exploited. Anyway, I think we've chatted long enough about this topic. There was one more thing I wanted to bring up.
What?
Which was,
Tell me.
It was an interesting point, I think, which was denying, let me just get this right. Denying an artist, so whether there's a director or cinematographer or whatever, denying an artist a tool to envision, to realize their artistic vision. Okay. So the camera is a tool to realize an artistic vision.
Yeah.
Okay. The stage is a tool to realize an artistic vision. CGI is a tool to realize an artistic vision.
Yes.
CGI imitating a person's face or demeanor or bearing or body is a tool to realize an artistic vision. Okay. So there was this debate between, you know, if we have it, we should use it because it's a way to realize our artistic vision.
Are you censoring my artistic vision by taking this
tool away from me? And there is a movement that actually. What do you think about that?
Ooh.
Because art has to have morals.
Yes.
Ethics versus morals.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm at the same sort of space when we were talking about Peter Cushing and using his likeness. At this point, I don't think it's necessarily bad to have these tools and to use them. I'm just worried about in the future people using it too much, and then we end up with this movie scenario in real life, the Opportunist, where you just download it into a thing and you like because acting is like my love. If I could do it every day,
I'd be taken away from me, right?
That would be taken away from the career path of anyone.
How does an individual remain competitive? You know, in that if you are superseded, basically.
Yeah.
You know? And
it takes away talent as well, because if you have you put into scan and everything, and a computer can make you do whatever, then I mean, like what?
Yeah, what good are you?
What good are you? They're just going to take good-looking people and they can make them do whatever, kung fu, whatever.
Well, you see, this is the thing. So it's driven by an economic force, okay? Because you want to make a big movie, you're making a big Hollywood blockbuster, you've got $100 million budget, which is that's an insane amount of money. So you've got $100 million budget plus another $100 million for marketing, so you're going to spend about $200 million in this project. You want at least $1 billion back, okay? Because let's face it, that's what these huge movies are making, is they're making billions of dollars, okay? Now, if you can cut out as much as possible to maximize that profit, you're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
And is CGI actors a tool to cutting out that? Would it become a tool? I don't know. I think I've convinced myself that the future doesn't look as positive as I thought it was half an hour ago.
I'm always the optimist, and I'm hoping that people will.
People will what?
People will remain sane and use it sparingly.
I think you're putting a lot of faith into humanity.
I haven't seen something, for example, I haven't seen a Peter Cushing incident in recent movies.
A Peter Cushing incident.
We're calling it that now.
Okay. An imitation incident.
An imitation incident. There's obviously been CGI. Like, we're not going to stop the stuff that we don't know about.
Because it is a
like,
tool for creative expression, and that's really valuable. But I think if people's humanity, you see, it's all, they say. The article I was reading was talking about like ethical concerns, and how do you make sure that those ethical concerns are respected while still using the tool. I'm not sure if there is a way for that to happen. But I think if you're impinging on somebody's essential humanity, that is a serious problem. What is that saying from Dune, thou shalt not disfigure the soul. So I don't know if you've read the book, but if you're impinging on somebody's intrinsic humanity and what makes them a person apart from other people, I think that is problematic. And I think that those things will be impinged on by the market forces. I sound like a conspiracy theorist now, but who knows?
All right. I think we're going to end it there on that dark and gloomy.
It's not all doom and gloom. Don't worry, Alex. There's plenty of things to do. Yeah, look, I mean, nobody's going to take your place on stage, right?
Yeah. Well, at least in my lifetime.
Remember that concert with Tupac, where he was a hologram?
Yeah, well, we didn't even get into that. That's
we didn't get it. Anyway, but Alice, I've had fun. Thank you so much for this. And thank you, listeners, for listening. Thank you, audience, for being here. We love you. You love us. And I hope you stick with us in the future. So thank you very much for joining us on our adventure today.
See you in the next episode. Goodbye. King Media Productions Centre Stage is a South African film and theatre podcast hosted by Alistair King and Daniels and Peter Bates, and produced with the generous assistance of Blended Podcasts, brought to you by Blended Audio.